Alright guys, you ready for your bedtime story? Why did they do this? What the fuck is that? Oh god. In the distant past, when the boundary between Pokemon and humans was still blurred, there was a woman and her companions. Every day, they were bored. So, they would often catch Slackoth living in the nearby forest. They played cruel games with the captured Slackoth, sometimes killing them for fun, gouging their eyes out or cutting off their ears. One day, the woman was walking alone in the forest and saw a Slackoth hanging from a tree. She climbed the tree to catch it, but she slipped and injured herself. At that moment, a Vigoroth appeared. This Vigoroth had a torn ear. The woman, startled, tried to flee, but her injured leg hurt too much, and she couldn't move. The Vigoroth with the torn ear suddenly attacked her when it saw her. The woman lost consciousness. When she awoke, she was in an unfamiliar place. Before her lay a clear lake surrounded by trees, from which many Slackoth and Vigoroth were hanging. All the Pokemon bore wounds somewhere on their bodies, marks left by the woman and her companions. Upon closer inspection, she noticed that some of the Slackoth hanging from the tree were corpses. They were the very Slackoth that the woman and her friends had killed and discarded. The Slackoth were throwing those corpses into the lake. Terrified, the woman tried to run away, but a Slacking appeared. This Slacking also had a torn ear. The woman realized that this was the same Vigoroth she had seen earlier, and fear overwhelmed her, causing her to faint once more. When the woman regained consciousness, she found herself at the entrance of the forest near her home, surrounded by her friends. They carried her back to her house. Sometime later, the woman gave birth to a child. But it wasn't a human child, it was a Slackoth. She intended to abandon it, but couldn't bring herself to do so. She stopped meeting with her friends and decided to raise the Slackoth. One day, her friends, concerned about her, visited the area near her home. They found the Slackoth sleeping there, the child of the woman. As they always did, they caught the Slackoth, stabbed it in the chest, and killed it. They took its corpse and headed to the woman's house. When she saw the slain Slackoth, the woman was overwhelmed with sorrow. She grabbed the Slackoth's body and ran deep into the forest. Her friends, shocked, chased after her. As they ventured deeper into the forest, the surroundings suddenly opened up, and they found the same clear lake from before. Around the lake were many Slackoth and Vigoroth. The woman stood before the lake, holding the lifeless body of the Slackoth. She threw herself into the water. Afterwards, the woman's friends began to treat Slackoth as companions, just as she had in her final moments. And that's the end of it. That's... What? How is that? I mean, that was fucking weird as fuck, but I don't think that's definitely not bannable. Lost brain cells